She has 11 browser tabs open. 3 are university websites. 1 is an anonymous forum post from a former student who says she regrets her choice. It's almost midnight, and Amara still hasn't found the one thing she's actually looking for. Here's what's strange. Every one of those 11 tabs uses almost the exact same words. Prestigious, world-class, globally recognized, research-intensive. A team of marketing professionals spent months writing that language. They followed every brand guideline, and it converts at barely 2%. Amara is in the other 98%. What she eventually chooses won't be the best university. It'll be whichever one said something that felt like it was written for her specifically before it tried to impress her. That's not luck. That's a deliberate behavioral framework. And in the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why almost no one in higher education marketing is using it correctly, and how you can apply it starting today, whether you work inside a university marketing department, run an agency, or you're simply trying to understand why some messaging works and most of it doesn't. Before we go further, a quick note. Everything in this video comes from a chapter of a book I wrote called The Science of Persuasive Copy. If today's topic is useful to you, the book goes much deeper, with full frameworks, sector breakdowns, and practical exercises you can apply directly to your own work. Links are in the description. Now, let's get into it. Let's go back to Amara for a moment because her situation isn't unusual, it's actually the norm. She's 22. She has a first-class undergraduate degree in economics. She has a clear career goal. She has a parent who's willing to support her financially, but who won't sign off without understanding exactly what the return on that investment will be. She has spent 6 weeks reading program pages, scholarship requirements, and blog posts asking whether a master's degree abroad is even worth it anymore. She hasn't found certainty yet. What she's found is a wall of nearly identical language across nearly every website she visits. Somewhere, in a university marketing department, a team spent 6 months developing the messaging on one of those websites. They're proud of it. It's polished. It converts at 2.4%. So here's the question this entire chapter and this entire video is built around. Why does language that sounds so professional fail so consistently? And what would it take to fix it? The answer starts with understanding that higher education copywriting has been borrowing rules from the wrong category of decision-making for decades. Most copywriting frameworks you've ever encountered were built for low-stakes commercial decisions. Impulse purchases, subscription sign-ups. A customer loses a small amount of money, gains a product, and moves on with their day. Higher education is categorically different. It is one of the highest stakes purchase decisions a human being will ever make, and it's usually being made by someone who has never made a decision like it before in their life. There are 3 things that make this kind of decision behaviorally different from a normal purchase, and once you see them, you'll start noticing them everywhere. The first is that loss aversion dominates aspiration. This isn't opinion. It's one of the most well-established findings in behavioral economics. Decades of research, going back to Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky's work in the 1970s, established that human beings are not rational maximizers of gain. At the level of instinct, we are loss avoiders. The pain of losing something is roughly twice as psychologically powerful as the pleasure of gaining an equivalent thing. Now, apply that to higher education. A bad decision here doesn't mean returning a product you didn't like. It means years of a person's life. It means, in many markets, 6 figures of financial commitment. It can mean immigration consequences, family strain, and a career path that didn't unfold the way it was supposed to. What this means practically for anyone writing copy in this space is direct. Your audience is not primarily asking, "How good could this be?" They are asking, often without saying it out loud, "How bad could this get?" And copy that actually converts answers that second question first, before it's earned the right to talk about the first one at all. Most institutional marketing does the opposite. It leads with aspiration, rankings, vibrant campus life, world-class faculty, and never actually addresses the fear sitting underneath the decision. That's the first and most fundamental mismatch. The second difference is that the decision almost never belongs to one person. Retail copywriting nearly always assumes a single buyer making a single choice for themselves. Higher education enrollment, especially across international markets, is a family decision, often a community decision. Sometimes it's shaped by the expectations of people who will never pay a single cent of tuition, but whose approval still matters enormously to the person making the choice. A prospective student is rarely evaluating a university in isolation. They're evaluating it through the imagined reaction of a parent, through how it will be discussed with extended family, through how it compares to what a neighbor's child chose and how that turned out. Copy that speaks only to the individual applicant, however well crafted, is structurally missing half its actual audience. It's solving the wrong problem beautifully. The third difference, and in many ways the deepest one, is that identity is the real product being sold. When someone enrolls in a university, they are not purchasing a service in the way they'd purchase a software subscription or a piece of furniture. They are committing to a version of their future self. The degree is the mechanism. The transformation is the actual destination. Copy that fails to understand this leads with features, rankings, facilities, faculty credentials, campus square footage. Copy that understands it leads with identity. Who will you become? What will you be capable of doing that you can't do today? How will this decision look and feel 10 years from now when you're the version of yourself this choice helped create? This brings us to the core framework of this chapter, and honestly, the lens through which I'd encourage you to view everything else in this series. I call it copy as risk reduction architecture. The primary job of higher education copy is not to sell the institution. Its primary job is to reduce the perceived risk of choosing it. That perceived risk breaks down cleanly into 3 layers, and effective messaging has to address all 3 in the right order. The first layer is financial risk. This is the most visible layer, and the one most institutions already try to address, even if clumsily. Tuition costs, living costs, the opportunity cost of years spent out of the workforce instead of earning, loan obligations, and underneath all of it, the basic, unavoidable question, what is the actual return on this investment? The second layer is career and outcome risk. This is the fear that the degree won't deliver what it implicitly promises. Will it lead to a real job? Will the qualification be recognized back in the student's home country? Will there be a viable legal pathway to work after study, if that's part of the plan? This layer is where vague claims do the most damage, because applicants have learned to distrust generic employability statistics that aren't backed by anything specific. The third layer is identity and social risk. This is the deepest layer, and it's the one institutions address the least, often because it's the hardest to talk about directly. It's the fear of making an irreversible choice that turns out to be wrong, and having that choice judged, quietly or openly, by the people whose opinion matters most to the applicant. A parent, a mentor, a peer group back home. Effective copy moves through these 3 layers in a specific, deliberate sequence. First, it acknowledges the weight of the decision before it says anything else. It doesn't rush past the seriousness of the moment to get to the pitch. Second, it names the specific fear, rather than offering generic reassurance that could apply to literally any institution. Third, it provides verifiable evidence, not vague claims, that directly reduces that named fear. And fourth, only then does it invite the next step, and it does so from a position of earned trust, not sales pressure. Let's make this concrete, because frameworks only matter if you can see them applied. Take a typical program page headline. The common version, the one you've probably seen dozens of times without noticing it, reads something like this: Develop your international business acumen at a globally recognized institution with a research-led curriculum delivered by internationally renowned faculty. It's polished. It's grammatically perfect. It's also almost entirely about the institution describing itself, not about the reader standing in front of the biggest decision of their adult life so far. Now compare it to a version built deliberately on risk reduction architecture. You've spent 3 years building the academic record for this. The real question now isn't whether you're ready for a postgraduate degree. It's whether this particular one will actually open the doors you need opened. Our graduates have gone on to roles at major multinational employers, and the large majority were working in their field within 6 months of finishing the program. Here's exactly what that path looks like. Same institution, same program, completely different psychological approach. The first version describes itself. The second one understands the reader's fear and answers it directly, using evidence instead of adjectives and using sequence instead of a list of features thrown at the page. This same shift applies just as clearly to something as ordinary as a follow-up email. A standard thank you message after someone downloads a brochure adds almost nothing to their decision-making process. It's a formality. But an email that opens by naming the exact question most applicants are quietly sitting with and then offers something specific and low friction in response moves the relationship forward instead of simply acknowledging that an email address was collected. If you're finding this useful so far, this is a good moment to subscribe, because we're going chapter by chapter through this entire framework, and each video builds on the principles from the one before it. There's one more layer worth covering before we close this chapter out, because applying this framework without it will quietly undercut your results. Higher education isn't one audience, and treating it like one is one of the most common mistakes in the sector. Prestige institutions face a fundamentally different psychological challenge than teaching-focused universities. Their applicants are often comparing multiple strong offers, so the risk being managed is less about whether the institution is good enough and more about which specific identity and network the applicant is buying into. Teaching-focused institutions face the opposite challenge. Their applicants often need more reassurance on outcome risk, the second layer we discussed, because the institution's name alone doesn't carry the same automatic trust. Specialist professional schools, things like medical, law, or technical postgraduate programs, need genuine domain fluency in the copy itself. Generic reassurance reads as inauthentic to an audience that already knows the field in detail. And international or transnational programs carry compounded risk across language, regulatory recognition, and cultural fit, all stacked on top of the 3 layers we've already discussed. A framework applied without adjusting for these differences will consistently underperform, even if every individual sentence is well written. So let's bring this together. The institutions that win the attention of someone like Amara, sitting on her bed at midnight with 11 tabs open, are not the ones with the most polished brand language. They're the ones whose copy proves, in the first few seconds someone reads it, that they understand exactly what she's afraid of and exactly what she's hoping for. Everything else, the rankings, the facilities, the faculty credentials, matters far less than most marketing teams assume until that foundational trust is established first. That's the foundation this entire series is built on, and in the next chapter, we'll go deeper into how to actually diagnose which of these 3 risk layers your own current messaging is failing to address, with a practical framework you can apply to any page on your website this week. If you want the complete version of this chapter, including the full sector-by-sector breakdowns, additional before and after rewrites, and the implementation exercises that go with it, the book this series is based on, The Science of Persuasive Copy, is linked in the description below. It's available on Barnes & Noble, on Everand, and through Thalia, depending on where you prefer to read. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Description box captions, paste below the video. Get the full book, The Science of Persuasive Copy, by Mujahid Baba. And AMP, Noble, https://www.barnesandnoble.com. The Science of Persuasive Copy. Mujahid Baba 149669071. Ian 29401831855713. Science of Persuasive Copy, the Writing Craft. Thalia, https://www.thalia.de. Shop. Home. Article details. A1078554334. This video covers Chapter 1. The full chapter includes additional sector breakdowns, before and after rewrites, and practical exercises not covered in this video.